That time they weren't playing polo, but we used to fly model aircraft there. A number of schoolboys, St. Joseph's, Royal, St. Thomas's, Ananda, and I think Nalanda also. Teenagers, we used to get together, and every Sunday we were there flying model aircraft. This I'm not very proud of. I drove the family car into the river because before the bridges were built, there were ferries, two ferries to get to Kuchaveli, and well, you can see what happened. We had to be pulled out. So the day after my 21st birthday, I boarded the SS Oronze, that ship. There were regular P&O liners calling here at that time. This is taken at Aden Harbour. And that was a photograph of a bum boat that I took from the rail of the ship. The boats come alongside, they throw ropes up to the passengers, and they pass things up these ropes and get money down and buy. But the reason I put this up was not so much to show the bum boat, but the fact that that enlargement was done by me. Because when I went to Bristol, in the Hall of Residence, there was a dark room and an enlarger, all for free. All we had to do was to purchase the paper and the chemicals and so on, and do our own enlarging. September 59, and I was 10 years there in England. Perhaps 10 of the happiest days of my life. Churchill Hall was the hall of residence where I stayed. It was still being built. It was a new hall. We all had individual rooms. That's taken in another room. I used to put on a sarong every now and again for fun, and they used to be all intrigued by it. But down here is the dining hall with, we had to wear gowns. The dinner was a formal meal every evening, except Saturdays and Wednesdays. That was sports days, and they served salad. You could take it or leave it. But here we're all standing up, and you can see the bottles of Marsala wine. Marsala is a sherry vermouth-like wine. Because this was on Winston Churchill's birthday. And being Churchill Hall named after Sir Winston Churchill, on his birthday we all toasted him with Marsala, which we got free from the university. The next year, the buildings were enlarged. I had 3 years there, usually it's 2, but I got a third year in there. This is in my room. The rooms were very comfortably furnished. They were cleaned daily by the maids. The linen was changed every week. So we didn't have to do anything ourselves. And there was a pantry down the corridor where we could heat water or make toast or boil our milk or whatever. So you can also see, those of you who have been to my house will recognize the sword. I took a lot of my treasured possessions with me and had them in the room, which was a way of connecting with the family, because for 10 years, barring 2 visits to the country by plane for 10 days, there were very few phone calls, no WhatsApp messages or anything. So you're just on your own, unlike now, where parents tend to take their children away and visit them every summer and so on. "25 years after graduation, I had a chance of going to England again for the celebration of the anniversary, and I took these photographs then. It's all been turfed, trees have come up, and I donated £1 for that tree. We all donated for thing, and this is after 20. No, this is after the that's before. That's before all mud and nothing. And then this is 25 years later, well, a bit more than 25. And the tree has done well. So had I think. But this year, 89, was a memorable year because on this trip, I took with me lots of the artifacts that we had collected, the Sabakwa Club had collected in the Galle Harbour. I took them to museums in Amsterdam and in London, and some other personal, some people who helped identify them. So we'll talk about that. That'll come a bit later. Sports. There are numerous sports available in the university. In the first week, which was Freshers Week, we set up little stalls on the Union Building, and you go around and see what's there to be offered, what we can do, all for free, and sign up, and then join up. So I started with the sailing club, but in November it was so damn cold, my fingers froze, and I didn't pursue with that. I tried my hand at fencing. I wasn't very good at that as well, but I ended up with archery. So 3 years in the archery club, member of the archery team. We used steel bows at that time. The laminates were just coming in, very expensive. Only the best archers were able to afford them. Oxford, Cambridge, Southampton, and Bristol were the only 4 universities that had archery teams, and we used to meet every year in a different university. This was at Oxford, the inter-universities archery championship. We also went to Southampton once. In the third year, it was held in Bristol, and as the chairman, I was the host on that occasion. Now let's talk about RAG. Now you know what RAG is in Sri Lanka. You get unsuspecting newcomers and do all sorts of horrible things to them. There, it was all great fun. The RAG week was 1 week. There's a designated charity for which money is collected. So we all go around with tills. The whole surrounding population, I think, collect coins for a few months, and they all come with their focus pool and put coins in every till. Nobody refuses. All sorts of mad stunts are done to collect money, and this one here is the 24-hour pedal car race. There were 2 classes. One was the standard shop-bought pedal car, and the made ones. So the definition of a pedal car is that the feet have to move horizontally backward and forwards, not in a circular motion. Right, it came on again. So I'll move my fingers elsewhere. So the first years, all the faculties have their float for the Saturday RAG parade. And Prince Andrew had just been born shortly before, hence the stork carrying the baby and the crown on top. We made this in the anatomy department because we were all doing anatomy. Chicken feathers stuck on it. We were all dressed in appropriate garb, and we had great fun on that. The next year was examinations year, and we were all very busy. But the third year, I organized a small group of my friends from Churchill Hall, and we were participating in the RAG procession. Now, a lot of the stuff that you see there have been made by me. I made the cauldron, I made all the hats and the false noses, and I also made the, made the octopus, which had been made about a year or two previously. Bristol Royal Infirmary, Christmas 1961, they decided to decorate, all the walls get decorated for Christmas on a particular theme. And on Christmas Day, every ward has its turkey. And the consultants in charge come and they carve the turkey, and the doctors and the nurses go around serving the patients. So I was asked to make an octopus for that. And it so happened that 2 years previously, for the concert at the Hall of Residence, I had been asked to make for a skit on the Macbeth. I had been asked to make a cauldron. So I had made a cauldron, and also for another skit, I've been asked to make a bollard. You know what a bollard is, the thing that ships tie their things on? So I happened to, I stored these things illegally in the ceiling of the Hall of Residence, that nobody knew it. The bollard converted into an octopus. The pantomime horse was also made by me. That's me inside there. And the South African Cleve Matthews is on the end. Seated on there is Janet, who subsequently married Russ, who joined me.